Figure daddy in your city, that's a couple milli. US dollars and it cannot fit in your belly.
Welcome to Alkaline Media. Vybz Kartel claps back at promoter for Trinidad show and they release a statement. You know, before we get into that, Vybz Kartel is the only dancehall artist in history to be paid US $1 million per show.
Figure daddy in your city, that's a couple milli.
When some artists reach that level, then we can talk. Anyways, you know what I mean? So basically, Trinidad organizers have issued a public apology following, you know what I mean, the sudden withdrawal of headlining act Vybz Kartel. You know, they said that Vybz Kartel was officially contracted to perform at the One Caribbean Music Festival for a record-breaking fee of USD 1.35 million. Yes, that's what I just said. Vybz Kartel was being paid 1 million per show. You know what I mean? And this staggering fee not only made headlines but confirmed what we already know. Vybz Kartel is the only dancehall artist capable of commanding $1 million per performance. Not Sean Paul, not Shaggy, not even top tier stars like Alkaline, Massacre, Beanie Man. You know what I mean? None of them can touch Vybz Kartel level. Now, according to a statement released, the organizers confirmed that $950,000 US had already been paid directly to Vybz Kartel, with an additional $150,000 US issued to his legal team. Now, they said that 1.1 million already spent, but the final balance could not be delivered due to, you know, legal and financial regulations in Trinidad and Tobago. But Vybz Kartel wanted them to book his flight to Friday. And I mean, the One Caribbean Music Festival team agreed in good faith, ensuring, you know, the remaining funds were available. All of these things, you know, despite the accommodations, organization were blindsided, as they said, you know, to learn in the media, not from Vybz Kartel, you know, themselves, that the show is going to be, Vybz Kartel will not turn up. I don't know if Kartel and TJ saw my video and listened to the points I made based on this whole situation. And, you know, they might be like, you know, the youth might be onto something. Who knows? Now, Vybz Kartel, as I said, Vybz Kartel has clapped back, stating clearly that he refused to perform without being paid in full as per the contractual agreement. He also addressed other issues surrounding the event, including backlash he faced, you know, in Trinidad for his plans to speak to school children and initiate an initiative that was met with criticism from, you know, the public and also from government officials. And Vybz Kartel suggested that this controversy, along with, you know, what he described as poor planning by the promoters attempting to host a mega show in the middle of carnival season, you know, all of that contributed to his decision to walk away. Check it out.
Promoter for the Trinidad show. Remember years me know you. Remember when you forward initially for the show. My lawyer was there. My manager was there. Remember the sign-in was recorded. Remember the money where you're talking about, the legal team, out of my money it forward. Because remember your ball, and I say, TJ, I know him long time, give him a blight. TJ reluctantly give a blight. You miss deadline after deadline. Me beg for you, say, TJ, give him a blight. You bring me now in a loggerheads with the government of Trinidad. Me never tell you someone do no school. My job is to perform for the people. Me's an entertainer. Me get paid to entertain. Remember, you know, you wanted to keep the show during carnival. Me look for you, me say you can't do that. Don't mess with the culture. Carnival, Trinidad thing, make them do them thing. TJ tell you if you don't do it. Angostura tell you if you don't do it. Kartel tell you if you don't do it. Countless people tell you if you don't do it. You force the issue, till eventually you see it can't work. So now you did want to bring me at loggerheads with the culture of Trinidad. Deadline after deadline, crying after crying. You just couldn't manage a cartel show, and that's what I need to tell the people then. In a discussion. My only regret in the situation is that the Trinidad people are them you rob out of the chance to see cartel after so many years. So you see me, a positivity me I deal with and good energy. So I apologize to the Trinidad people. Big up the government of Trinidad. And I blame myself in some way because I should have known, say, and every promoter can manage Vybz Kartel. It takes a lot.
As I said in my video yesterday, I believe Vybz Kartel did the right thing. Whether fans support Vybz Kartel decision or blame the organizers, the larger issue at play reveals extremely high stakes involved in international concert promotion and planning, right?
To get Addy in your city, that's a couple milli.
To get Addy in your city, that's a couple milli. So booking Vybz Kartel is not cheap. Vybz Kartel, you know, it's not just about writing a check. Vybz Kartel contract, you know, is for $1 million. They're not just betting on an artist, they're wagering millions on a high risk, high reward, you know, business, right? Aside from the artist fee, expense, pile up, venues rental, sound, stage, production, lighting, advertising, permits, travel, security, insurance, and the list goes on. So for One Caribbean Music Festival to turn a profit with Vybz Kartel as the headliner, they need to meet the break-even point would likely exceed to $2 million USD, and ticket prices would have to range between $150 to $200 per person, and the venue would need to be fully sold out, which we know the venue would be fully sold out. So looking at booking fees for other artists, when you look at booking fees for Sean Paul, typically earns between $150,000 to probably $300,000. Shaggy, $100,000 to $200,000. You know, the Alkaline, $75,000 to $150,000, and you know what I mean, are well actually $40,000 to probably $100,000, and then you have the Beanie Man, you know what I mean, $75,000 or $40,000. You know, so these artists cannot reach to Vybz Kartel level, you know what I mean, when it comes to those things. But even with these numbers, none of them come close to the 1.3 million. That figure is just a milestone, and the more Kartel, the more achievement Kartel have, the greater, you know, the gap between Vybz Kartel and them, and it speaks volume about Vybz Kartel continued influence and dominance in, you know, the music business. No joke, not the in a Gaza thing. We think serious as a judge. Also, speaking of that, even Molly, the you know, the Afrobeats rising star, she also backed out of her performance from performing at One Caribbean Music Festival. Again, it's unfortunate that Vybz Kartel did not get to perform, but again, in my opinion, Vybz Kartel did the right thing. This is about reputation. This is about dignity. This is about pride. This is not about, you know, how much you're getting paid. That's just your booking fee. You get me? So you're gonna make back that in Atlanta. You're gonna make back that in the UK. You're gonna make back that everywhere else. You get me? So we can't take the disrespect, you know what I mean, and we see the disrespect plain, like clear as daylight from the government and everything like that. And that was just an unfortunate situation for the promoters to just pile that on Vybz Kartel, and then out of nowhere all of this attack, left, right, and center. So again, you know, big up to Vybz Kartel, big up to One Caribbean Music Festival, big up to Trinidad. You know what I mean, we love Trinidad, and I like so we rate Trinidad, you see me. But that is just it. So leave your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Owen Allen Media, we keep you informed.